Let's now listen to what American voters across the country have to say about the elections.
In this election, I feel like the most important issue is fixing our economy and making it better. Because a lot of people out here struggling with jobs and inflation is very wild. So I feel like that would be the most important thing we need to focus on.
I have been a Republican most of my life, but I find myself in conflict with the Republican Party at this time. So as an American, I pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the Bill of Rights, to the Constitution, to the laws of our country. I don't pledge allegiance to the president.
Oh yes, everything. You name it, I've got it against her. To me, she is just an absolute nothing candidate. All she is somebody that they can put in place as a puppet. And she just, fills Joe Biden's shoes because neither one of them is capable of being president.
Well, I think he's a better candidate. If I'm going to a lawyer or a doctor or a physician for assistance, the last thing I care about is their personality, their religion, or their attitude. I need brain surgery. I want a good brain surgeon. I need a lawyer. I'm going to court. I want the best one I can get.
I voted for Donald J. Trump because I believe that he will do the best in his power to serve our country.
Let's now link with our correspondent Sidhan Sibol, who's joining us live from Washington, D.C., outside the Capitol Hill. Sidhan Sibol, good to see you again. What's the latest on your end?
Well, polls have now opened across America, and there has been brisk voting. There has been certain incidences as well, as my colleague Susan Tehrani was earlier today speaking about. But essentially, it's a neck-on-neck battle. Nobody knows exactly who will win. It's a very tight battle between the two leading candidates, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And this is perhaps, after many years, that this is a very, very close polls. Now, we know that in terms of results, either the results can come late tonight, that will be morning time India, or whether it can take time as well. Now, essentially, there are concerns over as to how both the candidates accept victory or concede defeat, because there are worries regarding that as well. In fact, I'm standing at the Capitol Hill, and this was the location of the January 2021 riots which happened. And you can see behind me, I'll show you how the security has been significantly increased. You can see how there are presence of many police personnel on the ground, and fences have been put up. So across Washington, that's the situation. There are fences across the main leading institutions, whether it's White House, whether it's Capitol Hill, and there have been barricades as well, and wooden planks have been put up across shops, main establishments, because there are fears that perhaps by late evening here, 5th of November or morning 6th, there can be some kind of disturbances, and that is something that nobody wants. The authorities aren't taking any chances on that. But coming to the election point, the polling has started, as we have talked about, and of course the people, the Americans, are of course are divided when it comes to various policies of both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. You speak to a Donald Trump supporter, for him Donald Trump is the world and he is going to win. But if you speak to Kamala Harris supporter, it's the same situation. So there is no middle ground in this country right now, and that is something that many people want to go forward to.
Sidhan Sibol, you have engaged with the so-called minority communities in the United States. Some of them are the Indian Americans. They are playing a significant role in this election because whoever they choose or whoever they're predicting to be the winner will have an impact on their nations or will have an impact on their communities. What did they tell you in Maryland, for instance?
Well, Eric, there are a number of voting blocks here, whether it's the whites, whether it is the African Americans, Hispanics, and of course the minorities, which includes Indian Americans. Now, Indian Americans are a minority, that's very clear, but they are very politically active, first. Secondly, they are one of the most affluent communities in this country, one of the highest taxpayers in this country, important for fundraising as well. Now, we have heard number of Indian American politicians, whether it's Kamala Devi Harris, who is the Democrat presidential candidate, whether it is Usha Vance, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy. There's so many names, a number of congressmen as well. Ro Khanna is there. So their voice matters in terms of how they look forward to each candidate. Now, if I can give you a breakdown of what they think, the male Indian American voter is very keen to vote for Donald Trump, primarily because he sees his tax policies are important for him, for businesses. His pro-business policies are something that attract the male Indian American voter. For the female Indian American voter, it's Kamala Harris, as has been the case for many women voters in this country, because of her position on reproductive rights, on abortion issues. A divided house yet again, and what is significant this time around is, while the Indian American voters have been traditionally voting for the Democrats, for Kamala Harris's party, this could change this time around because they're more keen on Donald Trump.
All right, that is our correspondent Siddhant Sibal outside the Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. Siddhant, thank you. And Siddhant was talking about, for all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.